this is optibotimus finished with another video review. And today we're going to be taking a look at, well, the apples, otherwise known as the A-Team. No, not that A-Team. The aptly named A-Team of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles in the episode titled Mouser's Attack. Now, that was affectionately given to these guys by Michelangelo because they're the supposed better fighters. Whereas Mikey and Donnie are the B-Team, which are just as important according to Leonardo. But as you can see, they are the battle shells. Now, what makes these absolutely fantastic and must-haves right off the cusp is that they have shells that open for storage. Okay. But the even better part is that all of these are slightly more accurate to the way that the cartoons look. I mentioned previously in my other more recent Ninja Turtle reviews that at PowerCon I actually was able to talk to the people at Playmates. And they basically explained that the reason that we got the original Turtles was because, or well, the design for those original Turtles was because the actual character models weren't completed yet. So it's absolutely amazing and wonderful that Playmates is going back and giving us more accurate looking characters. While still maintaining all the same level of articulation, you come around here to the back and you can see that they actually have a clear section here in the back where you can look in and you can see the additional weapons. And you see that the ninja weapons included are 2 throwing knives and 2 shuriken. Well, I can't say it. Shuriken. That's what I'm going to say. Shuriken. And then you got 2 half size and 2 more shurikens with Raphael. You can see that there is no bio. They do have a little bit of a read up here, saying, carrying their ninja arsenal and their indestructible battle shells, these turtle teens have got any mutant monster they may meet already beat. Open up their protective shells for a weaponized surprise. Swap out and store accessories for battle attacks. These turtles are ready to battle. Really absolutely fantastic. And like I said, the accuracy is just kicked up a notch on these. They're still not 100% accurate. I would venture to guess at some point in time we'll probably get far more accurate looking representations, but that's probably in the near future. But for now, these are the best. So, without further ado, let's get Leonardo and Raphael opened up out of their packaging and see how cool they actually are. Alright guys, so here we have Leonardo and Raphael opened up and out of their packaging. And right up front, a lot of people are going to notice that there's a lot different on these figures. As far as I can tell, everything on here, with the exception of maybe the weapons, has been newly molded. I.e., these all have new parts. It's really pretty impressive, to be totally honest. Now, a lot of people will complain, why are these ones so much more articulated as opposed to some of the villains? Well, now again, speaking to the folks at Playmates specifically about this, the biggest reason is they honestly produce so much that putting that same level of articulation in all the figures would be really expensive to do. At least that's the answer that I got from them. And honestly, I believe that. I think it's a legit answer. But these things really are very impressive. Now, for some comparisons, here are the new battle shells, and here are the original releases. Now, starting off first with Leonardo, you can see again that there is a big difference between these two. Getting these weapons out of the way. Let me see. Are the weapons the same? The weapons I do think are the exact same. I'm just gonna knock him over. Let's see. Actually, no, they're not. That's a little bit smaller. Unless it's that one. No, the weapons are in fact even different. So that's really pretty impressive that they even thought to redo the weapons. That's pretty impressive. Stand up there. And you see one of the problems that I already have with this Leonardo, but we'll talk about that here in just a second. So the swords are actually smaller, whereas the original ones have a much bigger look to them. So that's really kind of cool. But here you have the figures themselves. I mean, it's really a night and day comparison. One thing that I have noticed, though, is that in addition to the fact that they are all newly molded and things like that, making them a little bit more accurate looking, they also lack a lot of the same texturing that the original Turtles had. You come around here, like, for example, getting these sheaths out of the way, you can see a lot more texturing here on the Turtle's actual shell. Zooming in so that you can see that a little bit better. I mean, you can see a lot more kind of divots and potholes, giving it a much more realistic kind of shell. Look, this is very smooth looking and not, I guess, is realistic. And you can see that as well in terms of like the sculpting here in the arm. I mean, they still have muscles and everything, but you can see a lot more detail that's actually in them. Then the feet are actually completely different looking. fine. They got the 3 toes, whereas they got the 3 toes as well, but again, more accurate looking representation. The fists are a lot smaller, but then even on the skin, you can see a lot more of the texturing on the original turtles that these ones don't have. And that's not a bad thing. Like I said, all that really does is makes these a lot more accurate looking to the cartoon, because the cartoon has a much more smooth kind of look to it. And then you're coming up to the head, and you can see the head is much smaller and a much more accurate looking sculpt. I know a lot of people probably would still like to have actual like pupils put in there, and I wouldn't mind that at all either. I mean, I could probably do it just like a little dot of black paint, or even a marker would probably do it, but it would give a more normal kind of look. But you see a lot of the same kind of design elements, like for example the muscles in the biceps. They're just all completely different looking, and I really dig it. You can see how much smaller the new hands are as well. So very cool. One problem that I do have though is on Leonardo, you can straighten it out. You can noticeably tell that one leg is longer than the other, and I don't have any idea why. And because of these new legs, they're not. I mean, you can see this guy stands perfectly fine. This, you have to kind of bend the legs and get him outwards. They don't stand all that well, especially Leonardo, because, well, one leg is longer than the other. So I don't know if that's a common problem, but it really does kind of suck. Now, the articulation is the exact same that we got previously. The head is on a ball joint. Depending on which figure you have, it's a little bit more limited. For example, Leo gets a pretty good range of motion. Raph really doesn't. Then the shoulders here are on pins. They just move in and out, rotate all the way around. Elbows rotate, move forward and back. They rotate at the wrist itself. Nothing at the waist. Hips move forward and back, and then rotating them outward, you can get them moving in and out like so. They bend here at the knee, and that's about it. Now, the problem that I guess you might have with the battle shell aspect is you got this, and it's not even really all that bad. You can definitely see it, but you can't bring the arm back because this gets in the way. I mean, this gets a nice range of motion. I guess that kind of gets caught on it, but that kind of limits some of the motion. You gotta really, I mean, you can't really get a full normal 360 here because that's gonna bump into it. But coming around here to the shell, you just pry this open, and here you have everything stored. Now, the actual swords just store in the regular sheath themselves. These all are the extra weapons. So you got one of his little throwing daggers, you got another throwing dagger that pegs in there, and then these little bits, the shuriken or whatever, I'm just going to call them the throwing stars or ninja stars, whatever. You can see that nice molding on there. These just kind of hold in when you actually peg the other star in there. So you put that right in there, just like so. Take this little guy, put that in there. That goes that way. Here we go. Come on. There you are. And then this goes across the top, and it holds everything in. It pegs in there, and you can see nothing falls out. If you didn't have this here, oh, well, it actually stays in there fairly well. Okay, whatever. Maybe it's just this one. And then you close the shell, and it fits in there perfectly. I love the way that it looks. And like I said, you got these little bits right here. The problem with this is it doesn't really stay in there very well, although I wonder if... Let me see. No, that one, no, that doesn't even fit in there, so that holds a little bit of a different diameter or circumference or whatever, so slide that in there. Yeah, and I'm getting confused on which swords are which. Here we go. No, that one, well, no, that one feels a little bit too big. Maybe, I don't know, that one definitely looks like it's too big, so... Yeah, it fits in there pretty good, though, so I have no idea whose swords are whose, honestly, but... There you have Leonardo. Like I said, I like it. You do have to fiddle with the legs to get them to actually stand, because you can see where it's more, these feet get on the ground a whole lot better. These ones, maybe it's just because this guy's legs are screwy. So setting Leo off to the back, and now taking a look at Raphael. Raph, as you can see, doesn't have a problem with the legs. They are the same, but you can see that they swivel out. So you got this, whereas again you get the flat-footed action right here. And yeah, let me get this kind of standing there. You can see it kind of bows outward, so you do have to kind of tilt it to get them to get flat-footed, and that kind of sucks. And then again, you got this bit right here. It probably would be nice if this section right here was actually painted that brown to match the actual belt going across. But again, much more accurate looking sculpt. Some of the texturing has been replaced as well. I mean, you can see that you got the nice chunk taken out of them. Right up here, you still have that molded in kind of damage right there, but you can see a lot more pitting and damage on his chest, whereas this one is again smooth. Come around here to the shell itself, and again, much more detailed on here. This is a far more detailed figure than these new ones are, but the new ones do have a much more accurate look. As I said, that smoothness is what the cartoons look like. And the blocky kind of nature, I mean, you can see some of the, like the forearms here are a little bit more blocky, where these ones are much more rounded. You got the knee pads here, which are blocky looking. All of that is, like I said, an accurate recreation of how they look in the cartoon. The face sculpt is a much nicer one, although I think Leo's is a little bit better in terms of an accuracy, but this is a much closer look to it. Looking at the size, I think that these are actually a little bit smaller as well. Well, no, these size look like they're the exact same. You just got a different coloring on them, so that's easy for me to tell the difference. Now, as I mentioned previously, the biggest thing with these guys is the battle shell. So you come around here to the back, give this a nice little tug, and here you have the half size pegged right in there, and then he's got, there it is, 2 little throwing stars as well. These ones don't have as many blades, it just has 4 blades, whereas the other one has a lot of them. So there's that, and you can see it molded in there. So you just take this, fit that in there, take this one, fit that in there, bring this little guy here, boom, bring this little guy, boom, close it. Absolutely perfect. I love that gimmick. I think it's fantastic. I love the fact that they took the battle shell gimmick and put it down to these smaller guys. It's a wonderful, wonderful gimmick, and I think is absolutely perfect in this scale. And for me, I love the fact that they utilized it to also bring us the more accurate looking characters. You got the different looking foot, but again, they're about the same height, I would say. The 2 Leos are about the same height, but you can see that there is a size difference between the two. It's very minor. Leo is a hair taller, and that's accurate. That's the way that it should be, because you remember all the turtles have different sizes to them. So absolutely awesome. I love these guys. Leo does have some problems. This is kind of floppy. I wish that was a little bit more secure in there. I don't understand why the feet are the way, or the legs are the way they are. That's really kind of awkward and annoying. But beyond that, the only real kind of negative, I guess, would be the joint right here for that, but there's not really much that you can do about it. Generally speaking, I think that this is a very successful way to incorporate the battle shells and more accurate looking characters, and I really do dig it. These are the ones that are going to be in my collection, but that being said, the original ones are still good figures. These just take it up another notch, and I highly recommend picking these up when they are found in your area. They are out now, so best of luck looking for them. And until next time, guys, I want to thank you for tuning in. This has been Optibotimus. Keep in touch with me. Find out recent purchases as well as all upcoming video reviews all at facebook.com/teambotimus, and follow me over on Twitter at twitter.com/Optibotimus. And until next time, I'll talk to you later.